You're listening to the OMG Hour.
Welcome, everybody, to episode number 279. It is our year-end review for 2017, and we are recording live today on December 20th. December, not November. December 20th, 2017. Of course, I am Sean Evans, otherwise known as Zion Tane.
I'm Jeff, and I have a quick question.
Okay.
Has that fire fade-out thing always been there, or is that new? The crossfade?
That was new for today, my friend.
Was that new? Okay, so I'm not crazy.
It was good.
Normally, I don't look at the show while we're recording it because I have to look at the show notes. But
that was
we've already established. Yeah. I opened the show notes on my other laptop, and then I saw this crazy fade thing, and I was like, "Wow."
That's because we got our special 2017 year in review show. So it's got to be something special.
We get fire.
We're making the big bucks. We can afford visual effects now.
Yeah,
that's right. That's right.
All right, Tico, Mr. Second Place, also here today.
Gentlemen, it's been a fun year.
Has it though?
Let's be honest.
It's been a year.
Yeah, it's been a year. But let's be honest. We actually struggled. So in years past, we have done multiple year-end shows.
Multiple,
right?
Like 3.
Yeah. Well, in 20.
Multiple.
Yeah, we've done. Yeah. So last year, I think we did 2.
Last year we did 2. It's been slowly. Yeah. Next year,
we're not
even going to have
It'll be a half show. It'll be a vignette.
We give up.
Right? So this year we struggled to come up with what games are going to go into categories, into stuff we want to talk about for year end. And so we're going to do things maybe a little bit different this year. We're going to have some categories that we've had in previous past, but this year we're not really crowning winners. Until we get to we're going to do Game of the Year, which we do every year because that's always fun.
Yeah.
But we're not crowning winners this year. We're going to just talk about our preferences for these categories. We're going to talk about the games that kind of meant the most to us for each of these categories. But before, we're also, by the way, we've also got some special Lost Treasures coming up for you this episode, which I always like to have as well. So thank you ahead of time for Sid Bolton for taking time out of his busy week to take care of that for us. But before we start, I want to say we are not going to limit this to 1 hour. I'm not watching the time today. So, it could go over an hour. I don't know. We'll see. But we're just going to go. We're going to have some fun. And we're going to talk about the way the year went.
Just so I have to be out of here in 45 minutes tops.
I only have 15 minutes.
Yeah. So,
So we'll go longer than either of you have.
Perfect.
So first of all, let's start with how many games each of us played. We like to do this everywhere. We have a list of all the games that released in 2017. Yes. And we like to go through and say, I played that, I played that, I played that. Jeff?
Yes?
You're the winner.
I win.
It's like golf. It's like golf, so you're the winner.
Right.
211 games this year I played.
That's a typo. It's a typo there. Jeff.
That was, 1/10 of that is what Jeff played. 21 games. Now, to be fair, Jeff, you stopped playing games for a couple of months ago.
Yeah, also, to be fair, I've still only played really one game for maybe a couple more here and there.
21 times. 21 times at one game.
I mostly have played either Destiny or Destiny 2 all year. Those have been my big go-to games.
For sure.
They just sort of take up all my time, so...
So I am the next in line. I played 61 games this year, and Tico, you always beat us out, but surprisingly...
This is a disappointing number to me compared to, I think I tripled you guys last time, and I just matched your totals.
You did, actually. So
I matched your totals this year.
Jeff's 21, I'm 61, Tico is 82. So basically, it looks like Tico played all the games I played and all the games Jeff played together. And so Tico, you're usually over 100 games.
Yeah, and usually, you guys would be, you'd be in the 60, and I'd be 180 or something like that. And this is just, I guess it's been an off year. There's not been as much stuff.
Well, that's the thing, and that's why we had trouble even planning this show, because this year, we all kind of felt that gaming has been lackluster this year.
Yeah.
Yeah. let's be honest here. We had to remove some categories because we couldn't find enough games.
We couldn't find games to fit it. Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, without repeating the same games over and over again. And it's like, I'm not repeating the same game more than twice in a given category, you know? So, yeah, so that's our game list. But let's start with one thing. We want to, I think we'd like to go ahead and award something first as we start out. And of course, that first category we'd like to award is Trending Gamer. You know,
Hey.
Jeff Keighley failed to follow through on his promise to give it to Tico.
Yeah.
So we would officially like to award Tico with Trending Gamer 2017. Tico, would you like to say a few words and accept your award?
Yes, I would humbly like to accept this award. It's very deserving, clearly as laid out by all of the fun facts that have been presented over the last few weeks. And why is there not an actual physical trophy, Sean? I mean, there should be something here.
It's in the mail. It's with your steak knives.
Perfect, perfect. Those will arrive together, and I will display them proudly on my mantelpiece. Yeah, no, it's. I like gaming. It's fun. I appreciate the sentiment that has been shared by Jeff and all of his wonderful tweets. I think he quadrupled his yearly tweet total just to put those out there. So the fact that he did that means the world to me. So thank you. Very well deserved award. So
thank you, Tico, for being such a great gamer.
Right, for pressing
I do what I
all
can.
the buttons. Pressing
All
of the buttons.
Yep.
All right, our next category we want to talk about is a category that I kind of like called the future of gaming. And we did this a couple of years ago when we started to see some new trends coming out in gaming, what we felt would be the future of gaming. I still like the category, but again, we struggled with what is the future of gaming. But we do have some thoughts on it. Jeff, would you like to say what you put in the notes for this?
I said
family friendly.
Don't worry, I know.
Don't you have a beep button?
It says bleeped if I know, but it sure looks bleak right now.
Well, that's true. That's true. My thoughts on the future of gaming when I thought of this was really it came down to what Nintendo Switch has given us: portable AAA gaming. You know, I kind of see that as, well, maybe this is the future. Maybe we're going to get more stuff like this, you know, like AAA games where you can put it in a dock, you play on your television, and then take it with you wherever you go. To me, that kind of is like, maybe this is going to be a trend going forward. Maybe we're going to see Sony and Microsoft try to mimic what Nintendo has done here very successfully, you know, I might add.
Yep.
But the other trend on the other side of things that's not so good, which we talked about a bit last week, is planned obsolescence. You know, we talked about how the original Xbox One, which is only 4 years old right now, is getting like the bad end of the stick when it comes to new games, even like PUBG, where it looks so much worse on the original Xbox than on Xbox One X, and almost to the point where I honestly believe they're deliberately making it look worse to make you want to upgrade. Right?
Can I just add one thing on that PUBG thing? I did some reading on PUBG this week. Apparently, PUBG also runs terrible on high-end PCs. It's just a horribly optimized game. So that could be some of the reasons why they're having such a hard time getting it to run on the Xbox One.
Could be. It could be. Okay.
Possible.
Possible. But at the same time, you know, I don't know, 4 years seems really, really short for that kind of stuff. I mean,
it does.
I know that when we talked about the PS4 Pro and the Xbox One Scorpio thing, or whatever the heck they're calling it now, XBX, whatever. Anyway, like, if they do the thing that we were thinking that they were doing when they launched this generation, where the consoles are just going to start to be like, this is the last generation, and then they're just going to do like the iPad thing where it slowly gets better every 2 years, then eventually, yeah, you know, the bottom entry-level one's got to fall off so that games can continue to improve and stuff. But 4 years on a console generation,
that's too short.
A little short.
It's too short, exactly. Considering we were used to, until years ago, we were used to a 5-year cycle. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And then, of course, we suddenly got a 10-year cycle almost. So it started getting bigger, and now it seems to be getting like smaller than original. Like it's weird. It's really strange the way it's going. Chico,
I don't know.
Yeah, where do you see the future of gaming, Chico?
So it's unfortunate, but I see more of loot boxes, microtransactions, and basically, I mean, it's unfortunate, but like the EA model of what they're trying to get away with right now, I see coming more and more into play. Like, you know, more DLC instead of a full game, more, you know, buy outfits and stuff like that. You know, you want this game, great. Give us $40 now, and then another $20 for this, and $15 for this. You want more maps? Here's another $6-7. I think it's going to be, you know, buying games in piecemeal like that instead of getting what we're used to, where we would get, you know, spend $80 and get a full game. I don't think we're getting that for our $80 anymore.
Yeah, well, we've also got the preview program where you're actually paying almost full price for a game while it's still in beta.
Well, you are. You're basically pre-ordering the game in hopes that it eventually comes out. Where it may, some of these games I've seen have never left the preview program.
Right.
Games that I've paid full price for, I've never left the preview program.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think that's more of what we're doing. We're paying bits and pieces of these things along the way.
Yeah. Yeah. We were talking about this at work today. What is the future of gaming now that, 4K gaming, and I'm like, okay, well, great. 4K gaming is all about the graphics, you've got the Xbox One X, which is all the teraflops. Like, what is the future of gaming?
It's not even about the graphics, though.
No,
That's
I know.
What kills me. It's about the resolution of the picture. It's completely different. Drives me nuts. Anyway.
Right, but the future, like, I don't know. Like, is the future of gaming in augmented reality? Like HoloLens? I don't know.
I don't think so.
Where is gaming? Where has gaming got left to go? I don't have an answer to it. I don't expect an answer. But that's kind of my question is, what's left? Where do we have to go in gaming right now?
Maybe we go back. Maybe it goes back to, cartridges and single-player gaming.
That sounds a lot like the Switch.
Well, yeah, right? Right? The future of the gaming, the Switch. All right, before we move on to our next topic, what I like to do is I like to slowly look back at previous games of the year. So 5 years ago, 2012, actually was the first year we did a Game of the Year show. But 5 years ago, games such as Journey and Telltale's The Walking Dead were winning Game of the Year. We awarded Game of the Year to Dishonored, which also got Game of the Year and many other awards. But in 2012, another game that I think we all enjoyed also got Game of the Year. And let's let Sid tell us all about that one.
Lost Treasures with your gaming archaeologist, Sid Bolton.
Many times when a franchise is taken over by a different developer or publisher, it's never quite as good as the original. Fortunately, in the case of Far Cry, the game series just seems to be getting better and better. For Far Cry 3, that meant it was Game of the Year in 2012. Developed and published by Ubisoft, Far Cry 3 is an open-world action-adventure game that is set on a tropical island. The game features a very creepy villain named Voss, who you unfortunately don't see enough of in this game. That is how good he is. Although the game has become somewhat formulaic by the way you have to liberate camps and climb towers, we are fortunate as players that it's a fun formula to follow. Tweaked from previous releases and arguably perfected in future ones, Far Cry 3 always gives you something to do that is fun and challenging in its expansive world. For me personally, controlling the vehicles was a great way to get around the world, and I often enjoyed just crashing them to see how the physics would react. Creating a story in an open-world game is always a difficult task, but for Far Cry 3, it manages to do it in a way that is engaging, interesting, and even believable. There are a few games that take so many different elements and put them together in a game so properly that it's almost perfection, but somehow Far Cry 3 manages to hit that goal. If you haven't given it a try yet, what are you waiting for? Until next time, I'm Sid Bolton, your gaming archaeologist, digging up the lost treasures for you, right here on OMG Nexus and the OMG Hour.
So Far Cry 3 was Game of the Year in 2012. We had fun with that game. Our next
I love that game.
Yeah, it was,
it was good. It was so good.
Game. That was such an amazing game.
It really was.
Again, sort of broken co-op, but still fun. Super fun.
Absolutely.
Great game.
So our next category that we want to talk about is the best free game via our download, basically during our memberships. What games do we get? PlayStation Plus, games with gold. What was our favorites, or what did we feel was the best games offered on those platforms? Tico, why don't you start us off for that one?
Sure. So on Xbox, my favorite was Burnout Paradise.
Yes, good game.
Which popped up in backwards compatibility. One of the big problems I have with these programs is I own so much of this stuff already.
Yeah.
So it's very rarely do I actually have something come up where I don't actually own it already. So this one here was nice because I didn't own it digitally. I only owned it physically. So now I have it on my Xbox. And then PlayStation, I actually let my PlayStation Plus expire.
Oh.
So
Bum bum bum.
So I don't know what was good on that. I don't know.
Not a whole lot.
Nothing.
See, that's
nothing?
the thing.
Okay.
I'm kind of like you, Tico. Like a bunch of stuff that will come out that I've already got on disc, I will add it to my library digitally because it's just because
you don't have to get up off the couch.
Well, we're all lazy, right?
I'm extremely lazy.
Jeff, how about yourself? What was on your
quote
list?
unquote again from my notes? I was very pessimistic this month. Apparently,
it's a pessimistic year. I gotta be honest.
I said in the notes it was all garbage, and then the only thing that I actually played was Forza 5. Actually,
yeah,
I went and picked up Forza 5. I had never played it all the way through, so I was like, meh. Forza 5 is as good as Forza 6, as good as Forza 7 to me, so I might as well just play Forza 5. So I played that, but I can't think of a single PlayStation Plus game that I picked up this year that was held my interest at all. And I'm really starting to get disappointed with the real lackluster supply. I mean, they're not usually good, but at least last year we had ththings like Rocket League that came through that were like
there was
really amazing, you know.
Yeah, a few new titles that would pop up through this. Like, hey, this is a first time release, as a benefit for your thing. But yeah, now it's like, well, here's something that launched with the system or something that everybody already owns, 4 copies of.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Well, for me, I put down two games that, one game I used to own on Xbox, and I was really happy that it finally came to Games with Gold, and that's Rise Son of Rome. Wonderful game. If you've never played it, it's definitely worth playing if you did download it. But the other game which I played myself, I loved this game. You all know I raved about it. Until Dawn was available for free on PS4.
What was that again?
Jeff, it's not your type of game because it is a sort of a thriller game.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just an amazing story. I loved it. Ari and I played that through together. But I put it down because I think it was such a great addition to the library for those people who hadn't played it, because it's such a game that's worth playing. So
but if you already owned it, can you really count that? Like, if that's the thing, like the best game the entire year for you was a game you already had played through a bunch of times before it became free and owned.
Well,
what does that say about their list?
And I'm with Jeff with a lot of the stuff, and with you, Tico, a lot of the stuff they offered is stuff we've already played. So I basically listed stuff that I'm kind of happy they added to the library for those who didn't play it, because I think they are worth playing.
It's a lot of the stuff wasn't stuff that I'd played. It's just stuff that I wouldn't play.
Right.
My gaming time is so precious to me. Why would I want to play some horrible game?
Well, actually, Jeff, you said last month, when of course we made this list a little bit before we knew about this, I think, but Darksiders 2 just came out.
Oh yeah,
right?
No, I installed that. That's true.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but I haven't played it yet, so I don't know if it's any good.
Well,
I imagine the first one was great, but I haven't played Darksiders 2. And you know why I haven't played it? Because when I installed it, my daughter, Penelope, saw it, and she was like, Daddy, what's that scary face? Because the icon is like this skull head thing.
Yes.
And she's like, you need to put that in a folder. It's too scary. I don't want to look at that. So I put it in a folder, my indie games folder, where like games go to die, because that's the only folder I've like. What other folder? I guess it's kind of indie, small publisher, I guess.
Create a new folder for scary face games.
Scary face.
I had to get it in a folder so where it wouldn't show, because the way the PlayStation folders work is the first 3 games show up in the thing. So I had to find a folder big enough. Anyway, so I keep forgetting about it.
That's funny. That's an interesting use of folders so that your daughter doesn't see a scary face.
There you go.
All right, here's another fun topic that we always like. Our biggest surprise. Biggest surprise. Jeff, what was your biggest surprise this year?
My biggest surprise was how much I liked the Nintendo Switch. Because I was really, I don't want to say skeptical. I'm like, yeah, no, that's a pretty good idea. And it got around the time, it was just like a month or two ago, when I was like, you know what? I really think I want to give this thing a try. And then I got it, and I play that thing every day.
Yeah.
Every day. And sometimes I'm just playing stupid puzzle games. But I play it every day. I go to bed. I play a couple puzzles in P-Cross, or the other day I posted on my Facebook wall. I don't know if you guys saw it, but I went over to my friend's house, and we had like 4-player Breakout Mario at her house. Like,
nice.
It's just, I don't know, like, what a great little console. I still wish that I had some kind of bigger AAA, more mature experience, which I don't have yet. But, we'll totally get there. And what I've played so far, I'm really, really, really enjoying it. Totally, like, I don't know. I really, really like the Switch. And I don't have any Nintendo games except for Mario Kart. Like, I don't have Mario, whatever it's called, Odyssey, I think.
Right.
I don't have Zelda because those games bore the hell out of me. But I really like the Switch.
I also put the Switch on my biggest surprise because I am very surprised how much I'm loving this system. Now, keep in mind, I've had every Nintendo system since N64. Yeah, actually, no, since Super Nintendo. I had Super NES. So since Super NES, I've had every Nintendo console, including, the Game Boy, the DS, and then the 3DS, and I've had multiple iterations of the 3DS, and of course the DS I had multiple. But I'm surprised how much I absolutely love the Nintendo Switch, and as we've said a few weeks ago, we keep talking about, man, I just want to play that game on the Switch. I want that game on the Switch. Man, that game would be awesome on the Switch, And it's like, it's a totally new mentality. Like, wow, when leading up to the launch of the Switch, I saw it more as a replacement of my 3DS, which got limited play. But this has gone far beyond what my 3DS ever was. And I'm loving it. I mean, so far as I bought Skyrim for it, and it's incredible, It's wow. It's so incredible that I love it. And that surprised me that, it's comfortable, it's great to play, and I'm happy about this system.
I bought Minecraft for it. Like 2 days ago. I bought Minecraft on that so that my kids could play Minecraft on the go or whatever.
Nice.
And I will say that I still wish the thumbsticks were offset a little bit from the buttons, because playing a first-person shooter, that's the first like real solid first-person shooter, not first-person, but like first-person controls game that I played, and I'm like, yeah, this is going to be a little annoying.
I need a 3D printer so I can design my splittable Pro controller.
Right?
Just
you
get
get
done,
one cheap now. Just do it. Go on Amazon.
Yeah, exactly.
Give me your credit card number. I'll order it for you.
Thanks, Jeff. The other surprise for me is a game that we talked about, which was, I think, one of GameSpot's least, least rated games. It was The Town of Light. Indie game. Yeah. We saw it at PAX. This was like the opposite of our PAX curse, because I love this game. This was an incredible little... It didn't take long to play, but it was another game that I experienced with my daughter, with Aria. We would sit down and play it together, and she would just watch the story unfold. And I was really surprised at how enthralling that game was and the story it was telling. So much so that we actually, together, the two of us kept going back to replay all the different endings to try to get them all. So yeah, that little game kind of surprised me, and I'm really happy about playing it. It's it's not a game you'd play again, I think, once you've experienced the whole thing. But I believe The Town of Light was my first platinum trophy on PlayStation. That's how much I loved the game. So, Tico.
Well, my biggest surprise was actually winning an Xbox One X in that Gamerscore contest.
Yeah. I think we blew everyone away.
Yeah, well, I'd be honest with you, I have no idea because of how poorly the contest was actually run. So this is run by Xbox Canada.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've received the Xbox One X, so I know we actually won, and they actually sent it. But other than that, I have no idea where we placed. I don't know if we finished in the top 5.
Nope.
They didn't announce any winners. They didn't announce that they sent out prizing. Nothing other than the initial, hey, there's this contest going on. This is how you enter it. Yeah. No updates, no leaderboards, nothing. And I was really surprised about that. But actually, it showing up on my doorstep, which is the weirdest thing ever, too. You know.
Yeah.
Get home in the middle of the afternoon. This thing not even tucked into the doorway, like sitting right in the middle of my porch.
What?
Yeah. Wow. Just sitting there. I'm like, oh, there's a box. I wonder what this is. I thought it was some stuff from work or anything. I was like, oh no, they just randomly left a $600 machine just sitting out here for where anybody can grab it. Fortunately, I got it first.
So I actually went online to search for the Xbox Canada Gamerscore Challenge to find out the winners, and there's nothing. There's a couple of Reddit threads saying, "Hey, does anyone know who won?"
Yeah,
one guy saying, "I got something like 20,000 gamer score. That's got to be one of the highest." I'm like, I'm thinking to myself,
that as well.
I'm thinking to myself, nope, not even close. Sorry, bud.
Well, what did you do again, Tico? How much?
It was 80,240.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, and I do know that I do know of somebody that got exactly 80,000 for it. I don't know if they got anything before. I don't know if they won. So I don't know if we finished 5th with that extra 240,
right?
And they're out in the cold, or if we finished like absolutely first and they finished 2nd. So it's nobody knows.
Yeah,
nobody knows what.
So
happened.
Xbox Canada is like 2 guys, right?
Yeah, maybe it's 2 guys. I think it might only be 1.
Yeah, did they maybe downsize to 1? That poor guy is probably so busy.
Yeah, but to have a contest, but then never follow through with who the winners are, and even something, I don't know, it's weird, right?
Well, the whole point of having a contest is marketing, and if you're going to take the time to put out a contest to market your product, follow up with that, so people at least know, like, hey, take advantage of the fact that you had this marketing in place, and people know that you actually followed through with it.
Yeah, for sure.
So one other little surprise I had was the new Assassin's Creed Origins that came out completely changed the combat system for Assassin's Creed.
Yep.
And I actually enjoy it. I'm usually not a big fan when they change combat systems and stuff like that out, but I actually think I enjoy this better.
I do too. At first, I didn't. Of course, being
at first I didn't too. It felt weird, and I'm like, this isn't right. But after getting a few hours into the game,
it's solid.
I actually really like it.
It is really solid. Yeah, for sure.
I know you guys are just trying to trick me into trying it.
You should play it. You should play it. You should do it.
I don't have time to.
Jeff.
No, I'm not gonna play your terrible Assassin's Creed games. Sorry, Ubisoft. You guys know that I love you. But
it's different.
I'm going to hold out for Far Cry.
We do love Ubisoft, and we're going to show how much we love them later. So we do want to move on. We have another lost treasure. So Game of the Year 2007, 10 years ago. I do want to say, first of all, we have said how lackluster this year was. 10 years after the best year ever. Right? 2007, right. The best year of gaming, and it just feels like it's been downhill since. So there's the peak of gaming right there, 2007. Games such as Super Mario Galaxy, BioShock, Call of Duty Modern Warfare, Portal, Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion, and Mass Effect were all winning Game of the Year, along with this little title.
Lost Treasures with your gaming archaeologist, Sid Bolton.
Some games create an incredible frenzy and culture with those who love it. Halo is one such franchise, and it would come to an incredible peak in 2007 when Microsoft launched Halo 3 for their fairly new system, the Xbox 360. Spending over $40 million in marketing, Halo 3 ended up moving over 14.5 million copies, making it the best-selling first-person shooter game outside of the Call of Duty games, which are multi-platform. Playing as Master Chief, Halo 3 has a campaign that can be played cooperatively with up to 3 other players, building on what Bungie had created with Halo 2. In this game, you are found crashed in Eastern Africa and have to fight your way through Covenant baddies to get to the UNSC outpost. You find out that another Halo is being built to replace the one that you previously destroyed, and you're actually going to activate this one. You need to rescue Cortana, and it just builds from there. Halo 3 came in 3 retail forms when it was released. The standard and limited editions were pretty common fare in the market at the time, but the Legendary Edition included a Master Chief helmet case which unfortunately can't be worn, but it can hold all 3 games. In October 2013, Halo 3 was offered as a free game for Xbox Live Gold members, and in September 2017, exactly 10 years after its initial release, the game was made backwards compatible with Xbox One. You can also play a remastered version in the Halo Master Chief Collection on Xbox One. It's a great game, so if you haven't tried it, check it out. Until next time, I'm Sid Bolton, your gaming archaeologist, digging up the lost treasures for you, right here on OMG Nexus and the OMG Hour.
Halo 3. Jeff, I know you're a Halo fan.
Loved Halo 3.
And Tico, are you a Halo fan?
I actually just replayed some of that in the Master Chief Collection last week.
I have never finished a single Halo game in my life.
I have
finished them all.
All of them except for one. I never finished ODST because my save file got overwritten twice.
Oh no! ODST is the one I got the furthest in. I think I was playing co-op with someone, so we got pretty far in it. But yeah, I've never been a big Halo fan. I have a couple friends who love Halo. They love the Halo lore, like everything about Halo. You know, they were big into the I Love Bees mini series that was going on way back when.
Absolutely, yep.
You know, so yeah, it's just never been a game for me. I remember playing the original Halo back on the original Xbox, Xbox Prime days, and it wasn't for me. I did not like it.
I know I've told this story on the show before, but Halo was the game that made me buy an Xbox.
Yes.
Halo 2.
Right.
I was so excited for Halo 2 that I went out and I bought an Xbox, and I bought the original Halo for like $5 off a buddy of my brother's or something. And then my brother and I played it split screen co-op on the original Xbox on a 19-inch TV. We had to set the couch about 4 inches from the freaking screen so that we could see.
Wow.
And that's SD, right? That's SD with RCA cables. So you can imagine how blurry the graphics were back then on the old CRTs.
Right? My goodness. All right, now let's get into some of the best ofs here. Let's start with best single player campaign. Lonely single players. We'd like to still play our games. Tico, why don't you start us off? What were your favorite single player campaigns this year?
All right. So for this year, now I don't play a lot of multiplayer, so single player is pretty much my bread and butter. Assassin's Creed Origins was up there. I've actually played that game, I think, close to 70 hours now.
Wow,
nice. I have one achievement left to get the full 1,000.
Excellent.
One achievement. I'm going to get it.
Is it doable?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, good.
Is that going to get you the platinum?
It will get me the platinum equivalent. Platinum adjacent.
Yeah, the full 1,000.
The full 1,000. That's what we call it. The full 1,000.
The deuce.
Yeah.
Tico's going to drop a deuce.
Yep, drop a deuce. There you go. Middle Earth: Shadow of War. Really enjoyed this game. It's a great follow-up to Shadow of Mordor.
Did you finish it?
I am close to the end.
Okay.
So that's why there's so much to do in that one. I've really enjoyed that. Again, nice single-player campaign to that. Nice story. And then one that's not that great, but I'll mention it anyways. But Horizon Horizon Zero something, Dawn.
Yeah,
Dawn maybe.
I've heard of it.
You've heard of it?
It's okay.
Event Horizon Dawn?
Yeah, it's okay.
Is that what I keep calling it? Event Horizon?
You used to. You did, actually.
Event Horizon. Yeah. Great single-player campaign in that one as well. So those would be my choices for the best single player.
Well, I'll start right from that because I would agree. Horizon Zero Dawn was a great single-player campaign. A very unique story, which is what I loved about it. It's like a story. It's a sci-fi futuristic story like I've never experienced before. I mentioned it earlier, The Town of Light, one of my biggest surprise. Great single-player campaign. Again, it is just a single-player. There's no combat. It's just a story. But it's a great single-player campaign. I had an incredible time playing it with my daughter, and I love it. It left a lasting impression on me, so much so that I actually did some research into that era that it was trying to tell. You know, because it's based on real things that happened back in 1942 Italy in the insane asylums. And it's very, very interesting and incredible. Mass Effect Andromeda. Loved it. Loved it from start to finish. I mean, the ending was epic. You know, the
ending was good.
The ending was epic, and I really, really enjoyed playing the game. That was a game, one of those games. Every day I came home, I had to play it until I was done. But once I was done, I was done. You know, but I really, really enjoyed as a single player campaign. I had an incredible time playing this game. You know, it was, and I'm sad that it was what it was, to the point where it's shelved. The series is shelved, and that makes me sad to know that we may never get another Mass Effect.
Yeah. Well, that's EA for you. That's what they've done to it.
I'm holding comments for later in the show.
All right. Jeff, what's your best single player?
Well, Horizon Zero Dawn, obviously. That was one of the great ones. You guys already talked about that one. And for me, it was What Remains of Edith Finch.
Yeah, I heard good things.
Oh, man, that was so good. It was so good. It was so interesting. It was so weird.
Yeah.
It was another game like Gone Home, which I think I talked about a couple years ago, where, you know, you're just walking around exploring this crazy house, learning stories and histories and trying to figure out what happened and where you came from and all the kind of stuff. You play a young girl. You sort of self-narrate the story. Just a fantastic story, though, and a really, really enjoyable, like, 4-hour experience. It was fantastic, for sure.
I love those kind of games. Yeah, that is a game I want to definitely play. I don't have it yet, but I'm definitely going to check it out. All right, well, let's move on from single player, and let's talk about our favorite multiplayer games. Jeff, why don't you continue on and tell us about multiplayer?
Yes. Well, I mean, I guess anybody that's been listening to this show for any amount of time and knows what I play, Destiny 2, I would say, is absolutely one of the top multiplayer games that I have played this year by far. I have not had the opportunity to play it multiplayer very much with, like, you, but I have played it with my son quite a bit. And we just have a great old time playing with that. There's so many things they improved. There's so many things that are sort of missing from the game right now, but we don't need to talk about that in this show. And then next up would be Mario Kart. What is it? 8? Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
Right, for the Switch.
For the Nintendo Switch. That game gets busted out so much. I can't even believe it. People are like, "Oh, you have a Nintendo? Do you have Mario Kart?" I'm like, "Yeah, I got Mario Kart." I've brought over the dock. I've plugged it into, you know, I kind of wish I didn't need a dock. I kind of wish I could just USB-C in and like HDMI / power adapter.
Right?
I don't like having to move the dock. If there was just sort of one cable. Anyway, so
well, you can get little portable docks now from like third parties. They're available.
Yeah, check that out.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like I've played that like by like 4-player split screen on the TV. I've played it with pulling the little Joy-Cons off and 2 players with the Switch sitting on the coffee table and doing it split screen that way. Just a super fun game, and they really did a great job of not locking tons of content behind races like they normally do. Because when you get the game, all the courses are unlocked, all the CCs are unlocked. And you can really just do whatever you want. The only thing you're unlocking is costumes. And that's super fun because you're unlocking them all the time. Because you unlock costumes, it's super easy to unlock. There's a few secrets in there, but whatever, right? And then last up is one of the best, most unique multiplayer experiences that I've had this year, which is Star Trek Bridge Crew for PSVR.
Yes.
My gosh. I am so looking forward. We have got to find 2 more people because we've got to have the full experience at some point. But man, that is such a fantastic use of virtual reality.
It really is.
pop culture. It's so much fun. I wish that we had better hand controls, but other than that, like, what a great experience. So much fun.
Yeah, look, I'll start right from there because I agree. Star Trek Bridge Crew is on my top multiplayer game. I loved it. The experience we had together is incredible. I mean, just being in there, I felt when we were in there, Jeff, that it's like I have to speak the lingo. It's like I'm actually in the show. So it's like I captain, and so
Yeah, you kind of have to.
you have to. Yeah,
You have to.
You play the
you
part.
got to role play.
Right?
Yeah.
But it comes naturally to do so because you're in there. You're
immersed.
Yeah, you're on this Star Trek bridge, and it's so amazing just to look around and you're clicking the buttons that you see on the television. It's like, oh, it's so well done. Now you can play it single player, but it's just you don't get the experience. The experience is not there. Yeah, totally different. One of the best experiences in multiplayer we've ever had, and seeing each other in VR is cool.
Yeah, it is.
Destiny 2 as well. You've talked about Destiny 2. Great. I love playing that in multiplayer. I prefer playing that in multiplayer than by myself. I've said that many times. But also Ghost Recon Wildlands. I love this game, and just getting in there, Jeff, like when all three of us were in there, all four of us, we had 4 people in there at one point. But Jeff, the couple of times that you and I played when we actually set up sync shots incredibly well together, it's just, it's that experience where you're like, okay, I've got a guy, let me know when you've got him. Okay, let's go. And we count down 3, 2, 1, boom. And we both take a shot. We both and it's just incredible timing. Those sync shots in reality with each other is just, it feels like it's an accomplishment every time it happens.
It's super satisfying clearing a base, out as, with other people as well.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the same reason that I like playing Far Cry.
Yes.
Speaking of that again, it's like this same experience from different scale, mind you, but like that type of teamwork where you get to, there's in like Destiny, right? You're always kind of like moving forward.
Yes.
Right? You're always just sort of following a path. But in Wildlands, there's no path forward. The path forward is the direction of which you are approaching whatever you're trying to get to from.
Yes.
Which you choose, and then you guys go, and it's great. It's great.
Yeah.
The only reason, I'm going to say one thing, the only reason it's not on my list of favorite multiplayer experiences is that I found, because I played a lot of that game, I found that it was way easier in single player than it is in multiplayer, and it's the only multiplayer game I can think of that's like that.
That is very true.
It's a little weird. It's way harder with real people than it is, and not because the AI gets cranked up like in a Diablo or something like that, but because your AI soldiers that follow you when you're playing by yourself are like, they can shoot through walls, man. Like, what's up with those guys?
Well, not only that, but you bring up a good point.
miss.
When you and I are playing, for example, if I'm playing just with one of you, it's just the two of us.
Yeah.
Whereas when you're playing single player, you've got a squad, you've got 3 other guys behind you. Right? And you can set up sync shots for each of them, all right? And you can either take your own shot and they take a shot at the same time, or you can just like hover above everything with your little drone, mark that guy, mark that guy, mark that. And as soon as they say, I've got my shot, you say, okay, take your shot. And I can stand back and clear an entire area without taking a single shot myself.
Exactly. And
Right?
those guys never miss.
No, never.
No.
Never.
Right? So it is absolutely easier to play in single player, but the multiplayer experience is satisfying.
It is.
Right?
For sure.
And it's done well because when you log into your friend's game, clearing missions in your friend's game also clears it in your game.
Yeah.
What a
What?
concept. What a concept.
Yeah, no,
Right?
that game actually had one of my favorite multiplayer experiences of last year. And if Sean, you'll remember,
Crashing your helicopter right behind me?
aggressively landing.
Aggressively landing your helicopter?
Aggressively, as you were trying to stealth into a base.
Right. Yes, I will never forget. Also,
Yeah.
when the 4 of us were playing early on, and we're trying to stealth into this tiny little camp, and Tico just drives a truck right through the middle of it.
Yeah.
Oops, I couldn't stop.
It was effective.
But that's the thing about that game is the experience you have with it.
Yeah.
You know, the stories that get told. while playing this game.
And they're still adding to it as well. They actually just recently dropped the Predator
yes. You
content
can hunt,
that they...
You can hunt the Predator right now.
Yeah.
So I got to jump back in and give that a try. All right. So back in 1997, 20 years ago, Final Fantasy VII was Game of the Year. But along with Final Fantasy VII was this game.
Lost Treasures with your gaming archaeologist, Sid Bolton.
When you think about the Nintendo 64, you will likely remember games starring Mario and Zelda, which is of course par for the course. Chances are you'll also remember GoldenEye, the James Bond first-person shooter as well, because it was such an incredible game for 1997, and a natural for Game of the Year. GoldenEye is remembered for a lot of things. For many, it was one of the greatest local 4-player games ever invented. Even squinting into our smaller television screens from the day and the relatively low resolution, by today's standards, of the N64, GoldenEye was a true gem. A great single-player campaign was also packed into that cartridge, and it did what no other game up until its debut had done: confirmed that the console was a viable place to have a first-person shooter. You could actually control a game like this with a controller only, instead of relying on the traditional computer keyboard. Developed by Rare and published by Nintendo, GoldenEye is still considered by many as the best James Bond game, which makes the fact that it was developed by newbies quite incredible. 8 of the 10 people that originally worked on the game had never worked on any games before this one, and yet it went on to sell over 8 million copies, and is often considered one of the best video games ever developed. It would appear GoldenEye has something going for it that almost any kind of player would be interested in. The music, graphics, and gameplay are all top-notch, and it has so many cool Easter eggs and other nice things in it. The fact that the Klobb gun is named after Ken Lobb, a Nintendo producer at the time, just goes to show you what it was like to work on this game. A true classic that you have to play to believe. Until next time, I'm Sid Bolton, your gaming archaeologist, digging up the lost treasures for you, right here on OMG Nexus and the OMG Hour.
So first of all, I want to thank Sid for doing these, but second, Sid apologizes for his terrible gameplay. He took him a while to remember all the controls while trying to capture video for us on his N64. So yeah, GoldenEye. I actually never played GoldenEye on my N64. Did either of you play that one?
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember. You know what? On my N64, my favorite shooter was Turok. Do you remember Turok?
I played that too. Yeah.
I loved Turok. That was a great game. All right. Well, let's move on to a fun new category. The top game we wanted to play, but haven't. Yet. So for me, the one game so far that I've actually really want to play, but I haven't played it yet, and I'm hoping it's going to be Under the Tree. We got a whole bunch of stuff under the tree upstairs. I'm hoping it's one of those things. We'll see. Super Mario Odyssey. Yeah, just go open them all.
Just go open it.
Super Mario Odyssey for the Switch. I actually really want to play that game. Such great reviews on it, and I've heard nothing but good things. And I was excited. I was interested in the game before it launched. So I'm kind of looking forward to that. I hope it's there. I hope Santa brings it. Tico, do you have any games you wanted to play but haven't?
So I think I bought and played everything.
You pressed all the buttons?
Every single button was pressed this year. I honestly, when I saw this one and trying to rack my brain to think of something, like I can't think of anything that I was really that interested in that I didn't pick up. There's stuff that I need to play more of, but I don't think there's anything that I actually did not get, some experience with this year.
But you only played 61 games.
No, that was you.
82 games.
I know, but there weren't that many games released this year.
How many lines are in this document that Sean made? Oh.
What?
He made a document. The document that you made that lists all the games.
Oh, there's like 400 and something, I think.
There's 400 games in this list. Most of them terrible.
Yeah.
Most of them terrible internet.
Yes.
And shame on you game devs for releasing terrible games like Baja Edge of Control HD. What is that?
Baja?
That is
Why did you even bother?
That is
Baja?
a racing. That's a racing game, desert racing game.
Yeah,
See, Chico knows.
I know what it is. I played some of the previous iterations of that, so I didn't pick up the HD version.
Go play Black Hole on the PlayStation 4 and tell us.
All right,
what you
done.
think.
That is my new game, top game I wanted to play but haven't yet. Is Black Hole on the PlayStation 4.
Good.
Okay.
Ron, where's the
excellent.
art for that? How do you not have art ready to go?
All right, Jeff. What top game did you want to play but haven't?
Forza 7.
Yeah.
That was my. I was hemming and hawing about racing games all summer long because I knew that Forza was coming, and so was Gran Turismo. And I tried them both, and in the end, I bought neither. And honestly, a big part of that is that I don't think I could ever play another racing game again that's not in VR.
Right.
It's that much better.
Yeah. There's something about it, right?
And as terrible as Drive Club is, it is still one of the best racing games I've ever played, but it's terrible. And the other part of that was just that I just didn't have the time this year due to all the stuff, right? So
Yeah.
I was like, nah, I'll wait for it. That's a game that's going to go on sale eventually. And the other thing was Forza 5 came out, like we were talking about earlier, and I'm like, it's still cars, it's still racing on tracks.
True.
Do I really need whatever new stuff?
4K?
So yeah,
Right.
It'll be free in Games with Gold in 2019. So there you go.
There
Yeah,
you go. There
so-
you go. Well, did I say what mine was yet?
Yeah.
No.
Yes, I did.
Yes.
Yes, I did. I started.
What was it?
I don't know.
We've heard Sean talk.
Super Mario Odyssey. I did.
Oh, yeah. And then I ended that with, Mario games. Ugh.
Okay, now we're going to show our love to Ubisoft. You know, everyone knows how much we love Ubisoft. They've always been my favorite publisher. They've got a lot of games. I play a lot of Ubisoft games.
Yeah, no, yeah.
But let's have fun with Ubisoft since we love them so much. And let's talk about what Ubisoft did wrong this year.
Yeah.
Because
Aha, tables have turned. Ubisoft didn't see that coming, did you?
so we always say we love Ubisoft. We love such and such a game, but hey, this game is so great, but
So we should tell the story. So Sean and I were talking a while ago, and we're like, oh man, it's that Ubisoft. I don't remember what game we're talking about, but
Ubisoft
it's like
curse.
that, that Ubisoft curse. There's always one thing they screw up.
Oh, it was Wildlands. Let's start with that one.
Wildlands.
Yeah. So the DLC in Wildlands is not part of the campaign. You have to load the DLC completely separate, recreate a character. You know, after spending 40, 50 hours on a character or more in the campaign and getting all these new weapons and perfecting everything and all the skills, you have to start from scratch with the DLC.
Yeah.
What?
So that's super annoying. Everybody on the internet got unhappy. And it should have come as no surprise to Ubisoft because the same thing happened in Far Cry 4 and probably
did.
3 with all their DLC. It
The
was
same thing happened with Assassin's Creed Syndicate. All the DLC was separate stories, not part of the campaign at all. You load the DLC separately, and it tells a completely different story. They did it with Assassin's Creed 3, and it was terrible. You know, it was a what if story. You know, completely different. So let's go through it. Jeff, why don't you talk about the first one, because you're the one who said, hey, what the heck?
Star Trek Bridge Crew. Amazing game. We've already gushed all over it on this episode. However, it is a crime against freaking humanity that the NCC 1701-D bridge is not in the game.
Right?
They've got the original bridge and they've got their made-up fake bridge, but the next generation bridge
The most
is the
famous one.
That's the one everybody wants.
Right?
And they didn't do that.
Right?
Shame.
Yeah.
Shame.
Shame. Ching, ching, shame. Yes. Well, another game that launched this year was For Honor, and we actually couldn't come up with what was wrong with For Honor because I think we didn't play it enough, for one thing.
I don't think we played a ton of it.
But I don't know if it has anything wrong. The combat in For Honor was pretty solid.
It was a solid game. The
Yeah.
problem is that everybody stopped playing it.
Yeah. So
True.
there you go. You didn't create a game because they
Maybe
just hit season 3 of characters, and nothing's making me go, man, I gotta hop back in. But it was fun, but I don't want to hop back in and play anymore.
That's a super niche title, just like Rainbow Six.
Yes.
That's the thing about that, you know?
Yeah, it is very niche. Jeff, Mario plus Rabbids, what happened there? What did they do wrong?
Oh, the thing about Mario plus Rabbids is you play as an invisible Roomba. I mean, he's not really invisible, except you can never see the Roomba. You always think you're controlling Mario, this big red thing, and then you're like, it's stupid. Why do you play as a Roomba? Why?
What do you mean by... You mean when you're doing your moves?
When you're in the overworld.
In the overworld.
And you're walking around.
You control the little...
Right.
You play the Roomba.
Yeah, you're right.
So dumb.
Yeah, I
so
got
why?
You. Yeah, you're not actually controlling Mario.
But he has to be in the party at all times, but instead you control Roomba.
Yeah.
The handy vacuum cleaner. It's so dumb.
Ghost Recon Wildlands, we talked about that. The DLC is completely separate. Creating a new character was like, what? Are you serious? I actually, after playing and finishing the entire campaign of Wildlands, I started the DLC right away. And I actually stopped playing because I felt so disconnected from the game because I had to start from scratch.
It's not your character that you're not used to.
No, it's not my character. I had to relearn new weapons and new skills. And I felt this, it just doesn't feel right, you know? Assassin's Creed Origins, of course, came out this year. I can't think of anything yet, but we'll see what happens when the DLC launches. See if they have the exact same classic Ubisoft
I'm guessing you'll have a whole set of DLC that you're playing just as the wife.
Right, as
with new skills and a whole setup.
Yeah, we'll see.
I will say they have been dropping new missions into the main game.
Well, that's good
so far.
That's good.
And those show up on your main map and can be completed whenever you want. So they have been doing that so far.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that they continue to add DLC and pieces that continues your story.
I'm not hopeful that it's going to be the DLC in the future will be part of the main game because they've never done that for Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
Maybe this will be the year they fix it.
Maybe.
Don't screw it up, Ubi. Don't screw it up.
And Jeff, finally, Just Dance 2018. What'd they do wrong there?
They put in a song list that makes your ears bleed. It's so bad. And it's funny because they sent me an email today asking for my thoughts on Just Dance 2018. And I just was like, yeah, whatever, till I got to the comments field where I could type in, your song list is awful. It's the worst. And it really is bad. It's got blue. Blue. You know, remember that song?
No.
I don't think I remember it quite the way you sing it, but I have heard
that song. Stupid song. Why is that in there? Anyway, that's all the Ubisoft games that we could think of that released this year, and what was wrong with them.
Yeah, we were gonna talk about Eagle Flight, you know, but we realized that was actually last year.
Oh, that was the game that started it.
Yeah.
You're talking about Eagle Flight, and then we were like, we're gonna have a whole category based around Eagle Flight, and then we're like, oh wait, Eagle Flight.
That was last year. Yeah.
Oops.
And that was it was a multiplayer game, but you couldn't invite your friends.
Right?
You couldn't party up with people. What? Yeah. All right. What are we doing next? We are moving on to our final Lost Treasure game of the year. We're going to go back 30 years. 1987. Games such as Darius and Outrun were getting game of the year, as well as this title from the Super NES and DOS.
Hey everyone, it's Sid Bolton, your gaming archaeologist.
Hang on. Sorry, I think something just screwed up.
That was Sid.
That was Sid.
Right person, wrong video.
Exactly. Let me try to fix that. I'm not sure how I'm going to do this live.
Talk amongst yourselves.
Yeah, give me a second as I try to figure this out.
Yeah. Hey everyone, it's Sid Bolton, your gaming archaeologist.
You're looking sharp today, buddy.
Yeah, I'm going to do this live. I'm going to edit something live. Give me a moment. You're going to hear Sid again.
Tico, what's your big Christmas game this year? What are you going to be playing over the holidays?
I don't know, but I really don't. I have no idea what I'm going to play.
Really?
I really don't. I don't think I have
nothing
time.
lined up.
I have to start my shopping still.
What? Oh my god! I finished today.
No, I still have stuff. I went to pick something up today. I don't know if we're supposed to be randomly talking, but we're going to keep doing it.
Yeah. Keep talking, my friend.
Good. So I went to pick something up today. Was there last week, and it doesn't exist in the store anymore. So,
okay,
been there.
I'm now in trouble because I didn't get it last week.
That exact same thing happened to me. I was looking for a gift for somebody, and I went there, and they didn't have it. It was like, we can get it for you in 2 weeks. I'm like, you're kidding me, right?
Yes. Are you aware that Christmas is soon?
Okay, good, Sean.
I think I'm ready. I do want to apologize. Some things happen when you copy something in XSplit. It copies and links it to the original source. So if you change one, it changes both. And that's what happened because I copied the scene. So anyway, let's go back. This is the Lost Treasure from 1987, 30 years ago.
Lost Treasures with your gaming archaeologist, Sid Bolton.
Some games really leave their mark on the industry for one reason or another. In the case of 1987's Dungeon Master, there was quite a few reasons why this game is fondly remembered by all those that played it back in the day, and it still stands up as an amazing game, even today. Developed originally for the Atari ST by FTL Games, Dungeon Master is a true RPG that popularized the paper doll interface for character inventory management and became the de facto standard for how 3D dungeon crawlers would be going forward. The original game fit into 512 kilobytes of memory on the Atari ST, and because of its advanced disk protection, it was once rumored to have been purchased by nearly half of all Atari ST owners. The faithful Amiga port that soon followed required 1 megabyte of RAM, mostly due to the improved stereo sound effects, and as such, it was often bundled by hardware manufacturers selling RAM upgrades for the Amiga system. This Game of the Year was interesting in that the original versions featured no in-game music, but instead offered a separate soundtrack that you could purchase on an audio CD that could be played while you were playing the game. The game was originally going to be called Crystal Dragon, but it got renamed, and it was also available on the Apple IIgs, the PC under DOS, Super Nintendo, TurboGrafx CD, the Sharp X68000, the PC 9801, and the FM Towns. Ports for the CD-TV were in the works, but that got cancelled, and the game even had a prototype created for the Atari Lynx called Dungeon Slayers, which would have allowed you to take this game on the go. From its incredible box artwork to sound effects to gameplay, Dungeon Master is a true classic, and if you are an RPG fan, it's worth checking out if you haven't done so. It's not hard to see why this was Game of the Year in 1987, even if its legacy has somewhat died since then. Until next time, I'm Sid Bolton, your gaming archaeologist, digging up the lost treasures for you, right here on OMG Nexus and the OMG Hour.
Okay, there's the joys of doing a live show, gentlemen. My apologies for screwing that up. I usually check everything, but there you go. Dungeon Master, 30 years ago. It's amazing how games have changed in 30 years. You know, just looking back at that. I love going, that's why I like to do this Game of the Year from 30 years ago. Like, let's follow it through and see where we've come to where we are now. So we are getting close to crowning our Game of the Year, but first we want to talk about our disappointment. What games disappointed us the most this year? Wah, wah. Chico, what are you disappointed with this year?
Well, an overall general, the PAX Curse, which hit again this year.
Right.
It's like a number of games that we tried out and played and were quite impressed with stuff, of where things were going, and when the final game came out, it was just disappointing. And it happens every year, and it's going to happen this year again. Stuff that we're going to be super excited and pumped about, and just sort of lackluster releases of these things. So, general overall thing.
Yeah, you know, a lot of it too is because PAX East has become, I want to say like almost 80% indie now.
Yeah,
you know,
but I like indie games. I enjoy indie games. I think the problem is when you have some of these games that are there that are overly ambitious. I think that's what ends up happening. You get some of these games, they're overly, because they look good at the point that we see them, and by the time we see the final release, it's just not as much fun.
Yeah, I agree.
And then the actual game that disappointed me most was Friday the 13th.
So you were really excited about that.
I was so excited about this. I am a huge horror fan, a huge fan of Friday the 13th. The concept looked fantastic, and they released a broken game. To this point today, I've had this game since it came out. I have managed to get into a total of 3 matches.
What?
The matchmaking
Really?
system is just so broken. Like at launch, you couldn't get in at all. I have now managed to get into a couple of matches, but it takes about 5 or 6 minutes for it to load. And I've had a couple of times where it's loaded me into a match, started the opening cinematic, and then the host leaves the game and it kicks everybody out.
Aw, come on.
So it's just it went from a game I was really excited about and excited to play to I don't even want to touch because it's like I don't even know what my experience is going to be like if I'm going to get to play it.
Yeah.
So
that sounds like a disappointment.
It was a disappointment.
Yeah. Jeff.
Yes.
What are your biggest disappointments this year?
I'm going to start with Mass Effect Andromeda. Mass Effect Andromeda should have been an amazing new beginning for the Mass Effect series, and it just failed miserably and utterly. Not solely of its own fault. I think the internet was a little too cruel to it.
Yeah, I agree.
The EA hate got a little got a little hate on it, but you know, I was a little nervous about the game to begin with because I think they made some really poor story decisions, and you know, the game just it could have been I'm going to quote myself now. It could have been a glorious new beginning, but instead it was just an internet punchline. And I'm not saying that it was a bad game. I don't think it was a great game. I think you and I are a little bit in disagreement there, a tiny bit, Sean. But yeah, you know what? It was just, it wasn't. It felt too far removed from its roots, I think.
Literally and figuratively.
Oh, yeah, literally and figuratively. Anyway, so I was disappointed. I was disappointed in that. I think I'm most disappointed in the fact that we may never get another Mass Effect game again.
Exactly.
And, you know, especially in light of the other things that we've talked about. Tico was talking about loot boxes, you know, before, and like all the stuff EA's pulling, and how their new CEO is all about software as a service. That means that Anvil, you know, BioWare's next project, that's going to be the future of their sci-fi endeavors. Things where they can sell us loot boxes, things where they can have microtransactions.
Anthem.
What did I say?
Anvil.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Anvil.
But if anybody's looking to make a game, that's a great name for a game.
Well, I think Anvil is an engine.
There you go.
Could be a game as well.
You know what I mean? Anyway, so, you know, it's disappointing all around to me that I just freaking remastered the trilogy.
Oh man!
And put it on and put it on the Switch.
Put it on the Switch, exactly.
And the other thing was, a really significant lack of meaningful VR content.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
like a significant lack of meaningful VR content.
It's like the developers took this year off to figure it out.
Yeah,
you know,
it's like last year. The first year was all sort of like dipping their toes in the water, doing a bunch of experiments to see what works. I hope there's more stuff coming because
I hope so too.
There was not a lot of great VR content this year. There was Star Trek
Bridge
this year.
Crew. Star Trek, yeah.
Star Trek Bridge Crew. There was Farpoint, which was significant only for the fact that it came with that great controller. The controller is amazing.
Yeah, it is.
The game was just okay.
Yeah.
You know, so there was just not a lot of reason to plug in the VR this year. So,
yeah,
I don't know. I want to see more.
I finally picked up Static for VR, which is that hand in the box puzzle thing.
Yeah.
Really so well done, that game. That is a game that is made for VR and is brilliant in VR. Absolutely brilliant. I think it was on sale for $10 or something, so I picked it up. It's great. So my disappointment is actually both of them are the PAX Curse.
Yeah.
Yonder, the Cloudcatcher Chronicles. I was excited for this game coming out of PAX.
Yeah.
I couldn't wait for it to release in July. And it is a well-done game, but it lost excitement the more I played it. It just became more of a just go and do what you want kind of thing, and that's just not my kind of game. You know, there's no I don't know, it felt like there wasn't enough to do. and even the stuff that I was given to do, there was like no way of actually knowing how to go do that or where to go do that. It was just figure it out, you know? And that's just not the kind of game I enjoyed playing. You know, I don't like games that just make me wander around looking for stuff, you know? And we'll actually get to that same idea later when we talk about Game of the Year, and there's a certain game missing that I did not put on it.
It's a very pretty game.
Oh, it is a very pretty game.
I don't remember us talking about this. It is just...
it is a very, very pretty game.
It's very pretty.
Yeah. The other game is Elix. You know, Chico, you and I thought Elix looked great. You know?
It was looking fun, chainsaw swords, like, you know, just a fun-looking game when we played it at PAX.
Flaming swords. Like, it was a cross between sci-fi and fantasy and medieval. You know, it's a cross between Skyrim and, I don't know, like, Fallout. You know, put Skyrim and Fallout in the same game. That's essentially Elix. But it was so broken, that game. So broken. Fun fact, they just released a patch for it today that actually adds more difficulty so you can make it super easy. Because the game, even on easy mode, was almost impossible to play.
Yeah, I think I got killed by a snake.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. It was just oh my gosh. So I was really... Because Yonder and Elix were two games I came out of PAX really excited for. You know, they looked very promising.
What platform did you play it on?
Elix was PS4, but they were both PS4.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Because I have a theory that that these ambitious indie games would be better played on PC.
I think Yonder is also on PC, and so is Elix.
It is.
I believe they both
I just looked.
Yeah.
And they actually both have really good ratings on Steam.
Really?
Like user ratings. Yeah, they're both very positive. So
you know what? Toss these onto Switch. Now we're talking.
Well, Yonder
on Switch actually would be great on Switch, I think.
Not even kidding. The developer told us that when we were at PAX, almost everybody pretty much says, "Is this coming to Switch? Is this coming to Switch?" They a
lot of indie games on Switch.
Yeah, I mean, Yonder is a perfect game to go to the Switch. And everyone who played it was like, is this coming to Switch? And they didn't have plans at the time to do it, but who knows? We'll see, because that would be really good. All right, we're almost ready to move on to our Game of the Year. But this time, let's see what Sid thinks his Game of the Year is. And this time, this is the correct video.
I can't wait.
This
is going to load up the Dungeon Master video now.
Crossed.
Come on,
Dungeon Master! Come on, baby, let's do this.
Hey everyone, it's Sid Bolton, your gaming archaeologist, and of course, I would have to say for my Game of the Year, it's gotta be Zelda Breath of the Wild. However, there's two other games that you should really know about if you don't already. And of course, my other favorite game that I completed this year was Horizon Zero Dawn. Very close for me in terms of how good it was. I liked Zelda just a little bit more, but really did enjoy Horizon as well, so I know Sean will be happy to hear that. But also, sort of a game that I think you should try that maybe you haven't tried is What Remains of Edith Finch. This is actually a really, really cool game. So if you haven't checked that one out, I would recommend that you do. And for my worst game of the year, in terms of what I was most disappointed in, not necessarily the worst video game of the year, but my biggest disappointment was Troll and I. I wanted that game to be much better, less buggy, more fun, and I was let down. And yeah, so not too happy about that. Very glitchy. I made it through the whole game, surprisingly, but I hate when I have to reload games just because they crashed on me or something else happened. It shouldn't happen in today's day and age, and especially with the ability to update games digitally. So shouldn't have happened. Troll and I, bad, bad, bad. Zelda and Horizon, yay, yay, yay. And make sure you check out What Remains of Edith Finch, okay? Have a great holiday, everyone.
So, yeah, Sid definitely agrees with you, Jeff, that What Remains of Edith Finch is one of his favorites. And, of course, Horizon and Zelda. Zelda is his top, which I know a lot of people love the new Zelda game. Love it.
I'll pick it up used from EB Games one day and give it a try.
I have it. You could borrow it from me.
It'll still be $90 at EB Games.
Right?
Right.
Yes, yes. All right. Well, it's time to get on to our Game of the Year, but let's take a look at what our Game of the Year nominations are. Here goes.
The OMG Hour Game of the Year.
Assassin's Creed Origins.
That Minotaur is going to be trouble.
Destiny 2.
And he's gonna be worse.
Horizon Zero Dawn.
Taking this seriously!
Middle Earth, Shadow of War. Those are our Game of the Year nominations. Now we're going to crown a winner, so let's talk about what we think. Of course, Jeff, you voted for Destiny 2 and Horizon Zero Dawn. I voted for Assassin's Creed Origins and Horizon Zero Dawn. And Tico, you voted for Assassin's Creed Origins and Middle Earth, which is funny because my two nominations cross over both of you.
Yeah.
I have one from each of your lists. So, Chico, you're the only one who does not say Horizon Zero Dawn.
That is true.
That's because it's a PS4 and you despise
it is
the
because it's
PS4.
a PlayStation 4 title, and I don't play my PlayStation as much. I really did enjoy the game, but I probably didn't play enough of it for me to give that my vote.
Okay. So of your two, which one is your top
I would
contender?
probably say Assassin's Creed
Your top.
would be my top.
And you finished the story now. You finished the game, like you said. You're almost 100%.
I have to sell 100 trinkets. That is all I have left to do
In one transaction.
in one transaction.
Yeah, that's right. I saw that one. That's right. Okay.
So that is the only achievement I have left to do. I will get that. And again, I'm still going in, running around trying to find more trinkets to sell and stuff like that, because I am unfortunate at end game, and I accidentally sold, I think 95 of them in one transaction, and I did not.
Oh, no. Okay.
So, but I will get that achievement. It'll happen.
All right. Jeff, of your two, which was your top?
Well, it's funny because one of these games I think is the actual best game that I played this year, and then the other game is sort of the game that I think I'm going to play the most this year. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
I would say I like playing Destiny 2 the most. I'm going to play the most of that, and I'm going to play that for probably years. But the best game I played this year with the highest production values was Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'd say that the edge probably goes to Horizon Zero Dawn over Destiny 2. I think Destiny 2 is a very good game. I'll definitely sink more time to that than any other game over the next 2 years. But as far as the writing, the graphics, the spectacle, the story, Horizon Zero Dawn, I think, was right up there with the great games like the Uncharted and stuff like that. In terms of single player spectacle.
Yeah. I agree. Horizon Zero Dawn is one of the I literally became obsessed with Horizon Zero Dawn. It is the best game I've played in a very long time. I love the character of Aloy. I love the world they've created. It is. We've talked about it before. When I play things like Fallout, I want to see a futuristic, lush, a post-apocalyptic world, because we've said it. I mean, in a post-apocalyptic world, the first thing that would come back would be trees and vegetation. Right? They would take over the earth. And that's what Horizon depicted in a very beautiful, gorgeous game. Gameplay was fantastic. The story in Horizon was so unique that I was enthralled from start to finish. They told it in such a way that it really kept you going and really kept you wanting to know more, until it finally came to discovering what actually happened. And throughout the world, there's these little recordings you can get, which are audio recordings of people back in the 2040s, I think it was, when everything went down. I think Horizon takes place in 3000 and something, so it's almost, it's a millennia later, So that's how long it's been since the apocalypse. But the story is brilliant. It's incredible. Assassin's Creed is also on my list because it is. Everyone knows I love Assassin's Creed. If I didn't, I wouldn't have an Assassin's Creed tattoo. And it's a beautiful game. It's a gorgeous looking game. I love what they've changed with the mechanics without changing what it means to be an Assassin's Creed game.
The heart of the game is still there.
Right, exactly. And they've done an incredible job. But my heart goes to to Horizon Zero Dawn. I can't get enough of this game. I really want more of Aloy, and I want more of this story. And they've given us that with the first DLC they've given us, where they've done it right. The DLC is part of the story. They didn't just tack it on and you load the... No. When you purchase the Frozen Wilds, it becomes part of the main game. It still kind of tells its own secluded story, but you can get to it as part of the main campaign. It's not completely separate in any way. They essentially... The area was there in the main game, you just couldn't get to it until the DLC dropped. Now suddenly that area that you couldn't get to before is accessible. So they did it in a really good way. So Horizon Zero Dawn, I don't think it's any surprise that is my game of the year. It has been since I played it back in February. And in all honesty, every game afterwards has, in my mind, been compared to Horizon. And nothing has just come close to it. So
Except for Elix.
Except for Elix, that's right. Oh, I forgot to put that on my list. So, my vote goes to Horizon. Jeff, you said your vote goes to Horizon.
I'm going to change my vote to Kitty Powers.
Right, I forgot. Why did you not vote for Kitty Powers?
Well, I just did.
I thought that was going to be your game of the year.
I was waiting for a definitive edition, which has not come out yet, so it lost some points.
4K definitive edition?
4K, I need 8K, actually. I need that in 8K.
Okay, all right. So, shall we declare a winner then? 2 out of 3?
I think Tico got outvoted again.
Yeah.
Didn't this happen last year?
Yeah, every year it happens.
I think
it's
so.
Okay.
All right,
it's
so
okay. Congratulations
to Horizon Zero Dawn for being 2017 OMG Hour Game of the Year. Love that game. I'm sorry. I honestly can't say enough about the game. It's incredible. I found out, 2 weeks ago? I got excited, guys. I found out that Pop Vinyl did an Aloy figure.
They did?
Back in October.
Did you buy it?
No, I haven't got it yet. I didn't because I'm waiting for Christmas. I don't like to buy stuff for myself at Christmas. So if it's not under the tree for some surprise reason that maybe my daughters found it, I don't know. I will definitely get one because what? How did I not know there was an Aloy Pop figure? So amazing. So that is our game of the year, and that is pretty much our show for this week. I want to thank Sid Bolton for taking all that time to do those Lost Treasures, as well as sending in his game of the year. Any last thoughts, gentlemen, about the year? Anything that sticks out to you that you want to say? This is our last show of the year, just in case anyone new. We'll be taking the next couple of weeks off. We'll be back in the new year. Anything you want to say before we go?
I just can't wait for this stupid year to be over.
In more ways than one.
In more ways than one. I need this year to be over.
Oh, man.
2018. Can't wait.
Right. I'm hoping for good things in 2018. We'll talk about what we're looking forward to when we come back, so we won't delve into that now. Tico, any last thoughts?
Just happy holidays, Merry Christmas. Hope everybody has a fantastic new year and lots and lots of gaming. Everybody's going to be getting some new systems and new games under the tree, so should be really interesting for hear what everybody ends up with at the end of the year.
Agreed. Jeff, thank you so much for the title image. I love the new title image. It looks amazing, so thank you for doing that. All right, Jeff, why don't you take us out?
Sorry, I was looking at Aloy Pop figure on Amazon. No, I got away from the show notes. By the way, these show notes can be read on www.omgnexus.com, minus a couple W's. You can follow the website on Twitter at OMG Nexus, and you can follow me on Twitter at Sinix, that's SINNIX, because we need to start another Trending Gamer.
Oh,
2018.
So the Tico for Trending Gamer 2018. I will never give up.
it's going to go for Tico?
I've got my eyes on you, Tico, or Keely.
Yeah.
You and me, we're going to do this, and it's going to be good.
All right, Tico for Trending Gamer 2018. Start now.
2018.
Of course, I am Zion. I don't even know my name. Apparently, I am Zion Tane, and I have been all year. That is XIANTAYNE. If you like the show, give us a like, subscribe, and comment. That'd be awesome. And of course, our gaming archaeologist was Sid Bolton, who came back for us. We're hoping he'll be back again in 2018 on a regular basis. You can follow him on Twitter at Sid Bolton, and Sid is with a Y.
All right, you can follow me on Twitter at Mr. Second Place, and the show at the OMG Hour.
That is it for episode 279. That is it for 2017. Gentlemen, thank you once again for an amazing year. I wish you both happy holidays. Merry Christmas to all the listeners, to all the watchers. Happy holidays. We'll see you next year.
Good year, everybody.
Bye, guys.
This has been an OMGNexus.com production.